those of you who joined me yesterday during the How to Organize Your Color Things Get Organized Challenge, you saw the wheels in my little brain just spinning as I talked about using a pen chart. I didn't even have a name for it yesterday, and I asked people during the presentation yesterday to make suggestions. We got an awesome suggestion from Rhonda Rayfield, and she said you should call it the Peek-a-Hue. And I thought that is a great idea. So after Get Organized Challenge yesterday, I went to work on the Peek-a-Hue color chart. And during class yesterday, I only had an idea for one color chart, and it looked like this, right? It was very simple. But it doesn't really work for pens. It worked great for glitter glue, because with the glitter glue we had a dark line and a light line and you could draw over it, but it wasn't very necessary for pens, right? So these are all like the versions of things that I worked with yesterday as I was going through. And then once I thought I had something that was good, that was going to work, then I went downstairs and I harassed Deanna and Sue and Karen and picked their brains about why it would work or it wouldn't work. And I got some great suggestions, and you're going to love what we finished up with yesterday afternoon. So Karen's first suggestion was, when I showed her this, which is why I'm actually teaching this live stream, right? You guys love Karen because she keeps me so grounded. When I showed her this yesterday and how it worked, that you put holes in it and then you could put that color that you wanted to match behind, Karen was like, I would never figure that out looking at that. So we added the word fold to the center fold line on these, right? That's Karen's doing. So she's helping all you guys out down there. She's the rock. Okay, so I came up with 3 different ones. So we have the one for pens, very similar to what you saw yesterday. We have one for glitter glue, also similar to what you saw yesterday. And then finally, I did one called the big box, and this is for inks, chalks, paints, anything big, glitter, anything like that that you want a little bit of a bigger space for. And also it would allow you then to really easily put a small stamp in there if you're using ink on it. So let's start with the first one, the pen thing. Now, at the top of the live stream page, under sort of the title bar, there's a thing that says more event details or something. And then if you click on that, it'll give you a link to a page on our website where I posted all of these as PDFs. So you can download them yourself and print them yourself if you want to use them. Okay, so the pen one, right? You're going to fold it in half down that middle line, and then just use your regular hole punch to punch holes in each square. So the squares match up on either side, so when you fold it down the line, you get holes on both sides. You can punch the holes before you color it in or after, it doesn't matter. On all 3 of these, I tried it both ways. There was no big benefit either way, so you can do it either way. So this is Copic, right? Here's what Copic gives you to keep track of what you own. You can see these boxes are tiny and the print inside the boxes is tiny. So get your big readers on, ladies, if you're going to work with this. This is a great little chart to fill in if you just want to keep this handy. So when you're shopping or shopping online or even going to an event, you can take it with you and you know what Copic colors you already have. But it isn't really that great for giving you an idea of what that color looks like, especially because it's butted up in little tiny squares right next to all these other colors. So if you want to be able to use your color chart to compare color, right, and see which is going to be the best color marker to go on that blue paper, then you want to bump up and use the bigger chart like this. And so with Copic, I just copied the numbers out of the grid right down the column, right? So their numbers don't go in order. Don't start with B1 and label down, because there's a whole bunch of missing numbers. I didn't realize that until I started numbering. And if you're crazy for Copic, I would follow the same sort of pattern that they have, because these colors are all in order rainbow-wise, right? So you're going to end up with multiple sheets like this if you want to have that bigger example of your Copic colors. But it works really great, right? So you don't have to put all your Copics together. If you're not a Copic, crazy for Copic, if you just have a variety of pens, then you're just going to do the same thing. Write the brand here, and then whatever the color is instead of just, just the Copic, and then maybe put all your blues in a column, all your reds, greens, oranges, whatever, and then it's only going to take you a couple of sheets to get all your colors together. One thing I had thought about doing was putting this inside an 8.5 by 11 page protector, and then I thought if you took 2 of them back to back and did your fold and punched through 2, then you could put them in your book, in your page protector, and see all of them. But that totally defeats the purpose of the holes, because you still have to take it out to see the holes in it. So I'm not sure that a page protector is going to be that helpful. Second one is for glitter glue. So this is one we talked about yesterday. Looks like this. Has the same light gray fold line. So all 3 of them, where that light gray line is, it says fold at the top. You're just going to fold that in half. I'm going to tell you one of the best things about doing this, though, is finding out which brands of glitter glue or pens or whatever it is you love to work with, and which ones are not that great. So the first thing you want to do is put down some sort of glitter glue on your project, and it's a total disaster and you've ruined whatever you're working on. So you can see here, I kind of have one that's like that. This one right here, right? It's just bad. It's just not a solid color. It's not sparkly at all. It just kind of looks like red, I don't know. But it was an opportunity to go through everything, try it, keep it or toss it away, whatever you're going to do, but at least you know exactly what it's going to look like. So this is the same as the pen one. The light gray line down the middle is where you fold, and then you're just going to use your hole punch to punch holes. And I did some of the holes just on the white down here, and then up here I tried punching half on the black and half on the white so I could kind of see through what color. So you might want to kind of test that out yourself and see which one you like better. But it's going to work the same way even if you fold it over. Punching half the black, you're going to get half the black on both sides if your fold is just nice and neat. Get out that bone folder, ladies, and make it a perfect fold. It'll be so much better. So this is all glitter glue, but you could be all Stickles, you could be all Recollections, all SG brand, whatever it is that you have, or you could put all your glitter glues together. The nice thing about grouping them all together, and so maybe you want to do 2 sheets, but one for each brand and then one all together, is you can really see, so these are different brands. Here I have 3 different brands of blue right here. You can really see how they're going to work together. So putting them all together. And then I just noted on the side, right, so this is Recollections, it's called Silver, and it's in drawer 1. So if you joined us yesterday, now I'm going to go, if I want to use that Silver by Recollections, I'm going to go to drawer 1, which is just right here in my Stash and Store box, and there's that Silver right there. I know exactly where to go to get it, and I know exactly where to put it away. Sweet. Okay, glitter. Now, moving on to the big box, right? So I made the big box because of things like paints and stains, things that are bigger and messier, and even inks. Sometimes if you're trying to work with a tiny box for inks, it's hard to get a little stamp in there. It doesn't really give you enough color. So the big box is designed so that you can have a bigger view of what that color is going to look like. Same light gray line down the middle, that's your fold line. Same column down the side for the name and location of where that product's stored. What I did with the big box is, instead of using my little round hole punch though, I used, and I think this is a 1/2-inch triangle, and I didn't plan it this way, but it worked. Well, first I tried using a bigger circle. It's actually a flower, and that was too much. It took out too much of the color, right? So then I went with the triangle punch, and the nice thing about it is that when I folded it over, this little triangle punch fit perfectly into one little section, right? So you can see how I can line up the triangle pointing towards the name of the product. So it's going to direct me to the right side of the grid here. And it took out a nice amount, but not too much. And then I just was able to go along and punch those all nice and neat. So you can see now my little arrows point to whatever the product is. Now on this one, this is all Tim Holtz product, right? And I'm such an airhead. When I first started working on it, I just was using paints and stains and pens and inks, right? And I totally forgot that I had this distress glitter. So if you love a particular brand like Tim Holtz, that's going to be that opportunity. You want to take that opportunity to gather all of your Tim Holtz things together and see what you've got that matches. Because what I didn't do was put all of the tumbled glass things on the same line, and that would have been nice if I had all 4 or 5 or 6 products of that color to have them consistently across, or maybe it might take a couple of sheets depending on what you've got in that particular brand. So try to think ahead before you, don't do what I do. That's the whole benefit to this, isn't it? Like, you get to see all the mistakes that I made. I used too big of a thing. I put these in the wrong place. The other thing I did with this is that I wrote TH for Tim Holtz on every one of these little squares. But right here at the top of the page, you can see it says Tim Holtz. So I know it's Tim Holtz. So that was silly. I could have used that space just to write the indicator. So again, it says right here, this color of green paint is in drawer D6. It's called Mowed Lawn. I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to pull out drawer D6. There's that Mowed Lawn paint, right? So super easy to find. So put the location of the item next to it on the grid, and it'll drive you right to where it is. Now, because I was doing these all at the same time, I've got all my Tim Holtz stuff kind of grouped together in my drawers right now. But it wouldn't matter if the next color I bought, so if the next paint I bought was this Victorian Velvet Pink, if I bought that paint, I could put it right here, and the next space I have in my drawer might be in drawer D18, right? So I would just write D18. You don't necessarily have to keep all those colors together in the same place, and you don't have to constantly be rearranging your paints and sprays and inks to fit things in, because this little number is going to tell you exactly where to go to get that. Okay, super simple, right? Now I just want to show you how cool it is to work with this, because you have this little bit bigger square, right? So I've got this little paper here. It's called Fairy Bell, right? And you can see it's got some pink on it. Well, now I can take my little color grid and lay that over the pink and know which color is going to be the best pink to work with that. I don't have to guess at it. I don't have to kind of put it close and look. I can just put that. Look at this pink distress glitter. It's probably going to be hard to see, but it's a great match for that pale pink on this fairy paper, right? So if you're trying to match up a blue or a yellow, it's a nice blue, I'm going to be able to look at that as well. Which one of those blues? And here's a really cool thing. You might be thinking, I want to use blue on this paper, and so you're looking at blues, but because you're seeing the paper through all those other colors, you might go, oh, wow, that green is really going to give me a nice pop. Maybe I should use the green instead of the blue. So like everything else that we kind of talk about through the Get Organized Challenge classes, once you have your things all together, easily accessible and easy to see, you end up using more or using things differently than what you thought was the way that you were going to use it. So really a cool, cool feature. So I wrote some notes here as I was doing this. I wrote so that these are the things that I found helpful. When you did the glitter glue, my old glitter glue sample, I just drew a squiggly line of glitter glue on. And so I would encourage you to do a full color block of glitter glue when you're doing this instead of just a line through it, because it'll just give you so much better visual when you're layering that on top of something else. And then I said with pens, if you're writing in the number, so with the, if you're doing pens like this, like Copic, right? So as you write in the numbers, before you ever put any color on there, if you're doing 2 sets of, so some people do a set for, to keep all their pen things together in their color catalog. Some people do a set just for Copic. But if you're going to do 2 sets, write in the numbers and then photocopy the sheet so you don't have to write the numbers in twice. Does that make sense? So just a little shortcut if you're somebody who's doing 2 catalogs, and you know who you are, you've got a lot out there. Okay. And then I also wrote a note to myself that said, you don't need to write the TH if everything on the page is Tim Holtz. All right, so if you have any questions, you need to get them to post up on the screen right now. Karen will either text up to Sue and tell her that there's questions and we need to hang on for a few minutes, or or she'll come up with questions. So I just want to talk a little bit about the big box here. So if you can find a stamp that'll fit in that big box and give you the most coverage, it's super helpful. The closest thing I had was our like T stamp, which is our kind of our corporate stamp, and I punched out the T, so I didn't lose so much. But you really want to get as much ink or as much paint or whatever on there, so you really get a good color choice when you're looking at those things on there. All right, so we've got 3 things for you to work with. We've got the big box. We've got glitter glue, and that's the one with the dark stripes. And we've got the pen chart as well. So remember, you're just going to fold down that light gray line and punch your holes, right? Light gray lines are on all 3 of them, and they all say fold at the top. I put the link up on the live stream page again, so if you joined us late, or maybe I said that, well, the camera was down, who knows. At the top of the live stream page, there's a little link that says more event details, and if you click on that, it's going to drop down. It's going to have a link to a page on our website where I posted downloads of all 3 of these. The page is a little bit ugly. I'm going to doll it up. I'm going to add this video to the top of it so that you can get a little lesson in how to use them as well, and maybe I'll print some instructions too. But for your purposes, for being first on board, it's a simple page, but it'll get you exactly what you need. So I guess that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you'll test out the Peek-a-Hue pages and then let us know either via email or Facebook or even Twitter. We're working on Twitter. I know we've got a few followers on Twitter. We haven't been that great with it, but we are really going to try and be better communicators with Twitter. So, so if you're on Twitter and you want to follow us there, we're happy to answer your questions there as well. So I guess that's it. Oh, Sue's saying, wait a minute. No questions. We're good to go. All right, thanks so much, crafters, for joining me this morning. I'm looking forward to getting your comments and feedback on the Peek-a-Hue color chart pages. Have a great day.